Hey there, James here, and today I want to share with you an interview that I did with Pedro, who runs Health Place in Brisbane. It's an absolutely fantastic business. He employs a few staff there, doing a great job being a massage therapist in Brisbane and running an amazing clinic. But it's actually Pedro's story that you'll find so interesting. He started in Portugal and travelled the world as a massage therapist for Cirque de Soleil, working on those amazing athletes and acrobats as they travelled the world, literally. He's settled in Brisbane. He also does some sports treatments where he is at the moment. But for the most part, Health Place works as a remedial massage centre. You will also be interested to hear that it's not just Facebook that he uses to get marketing. So listen in as he shares some of his story and shares what's working for him right now. Awesome. So thanks for coming along this morning, Pedro. Absolutely fantastic to have you on the show. And I'm really excited to hear a little bit of your story, where you've come from, what you're doing now, the story of Health Place, as well as your story. So maybe let's start a little bit with you. I know you started, you're originally from Portugal, and then you've come over here. And right now, I noticed on your Facebook page that you're the head trainer for, is it the Reds there in Queensland? As well as, the head therapist for the Reds, as well as the head therapist for the Queensland Ballet. And to me, those two things seem to be a little bit different, a little bit interesting. What's the story? How did you come from Portugal and end up here in Queensland running a great business and head therapist for those two places?
Mike, thank you very much for having me. Short story, to be quite honest. So I was lucky enough to play soccer back in Portugal a lifetime ago. I had a few knee injuries that actually stopped me from playing in a high level. So I actually became a massage therapist because I thought that was going to be the next stage. Like, I really enjoyed that during the sports career I was getting. So and that was just after that, because of the connections with soccer, I managed to get a soccer job with one of the top soccer teams in Portugal, and I stayed there for 4 years, where I learned a lot and everything. 2008, I got an invitation from Cirque de Soleil just to work with Cirque de Soleil 6 weeks, and that was just going to be in Lisbon. 2.5 years traveling the world with Cirque. And
Wow.
I met someone from here that was part of the show as well. And that's why we're here in Brisbane.
Fantastic. Gee, that must have been an exciting journey as well with Cirque du Soleil. So you were a therapist for them. Is that what you're saying? Or you were a performer?
No. I was a massage therapist for the
Performing in a different way, performing on the massage table.
They're really athletes. They're super athletes. They're just so flexible and strong at the same time, and you don't see that pretty much anywhere else. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, what a fantastic experience. That sounds really great. And you must have travelled a lot for that as well.
Yeah, and that was the best part of the job. So you get put on the best hotels in the world. Every 6 weeks you travel to a different place, and it's just a good lifestyle. It's very hard work, but it's a really good lifestyle. But after a while, it's just pretty much you always go to the same routine. You know, like you go home, but no home. It's a hotel room. Like, it's a nice hotel room, but there's no one waiting for you. You can't evolve more in the company, so there's no goals to achieve because you're just a massage therapist for a company. It's a big company, but there's no progression on a career as well. And that's a few things that I really wanted to get.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was an interesting time, but then from there, you moved into Brisbane. Is that the story from there?
Yeah. So in Brisbane, I was lucky enough to get a contract straight away with the Broncos. So I did the Broncos.
Great.
For 4 years. Yes, I was with the Broncos for 4 years, and State of Origin, the Queensland team as well, for 3 more seasons. And that's when I opened my own place. So the first Health Place, and that was just a small room inside of a gym, really, really far away.
Wow, there you go. And so from that small room, how did you build that into Health Place? Or maybe start with telling us a bit about what Health Place looks like now and then how you got there.
Yeah. So at the moment, we have 2 different clinics in two really good locations in Brisbane. We have 4 full-time staff. We have 4 other part-time staff as well, and we still have 9 contractors. Yeah, so the core service is still what we offer most, and that's remedial massage. So myotherapy, musculoskeletal remedial massage is really the core of the business.
Fantastic.
And yeah, so we also rent 2 rooms to a dietitian and a psychologist just to complement what we do.
Yeah, perfect.
But that's pretty much how it looks now. And it's a big difference from having a room inside of a gym, quite far away, to have 2 clinics. And I just felt being inside of the room, even if we hire someone, you can't develop that team culture. You know, everyone is pretty much working for himself or herself, and it's not a team bonding. The culture is not there, and you can't evolve as a person as well. And a therapist just working for yourself inside of a gym. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of the therapists do at the moment. They all want to work for themselves without getting that experience, that brand for themselves before they do something like that. I don't think it's a bad decision opening your own business, but I think everyone is doing it quite fast. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you see that being too early. So what do you do then to build team rapport or to make the team draw together and have that team culture?
It's nothing that we do too much. It's just people need to know why Health Place. You know, what are we trying to do that's different from everyone else? And it goes from, I don't know, even after a treatment, every client gets a glass of water. That's part of the standard, the protocol, the system that we have. So every client that comes to Health Place after treatment gets a glass of water. Those small things, the vision, all the small pieces that match for a bigger vision, that's what we're trying to achieve. So everyone at Health Place, they actually think that they're working for something bigger than themselves. And that's why we have such a good rate of the therapists that stay with us for a long, long time.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because what I hear you talking about there is really the vision. It's like you're setting a future vision for the business. You've got a big picture going on there. And people who come to work with you are caught up in that and they want to be part of it. They want to work towards that vision and be part of the team that's doing that. And as they're doing that, they're also getting a whole lot of hands-on experience and training that I guess if they wanted to, it's making them a better therapist. And if they wanted to down the track, they could open a business and they'd have all that experience of how it works behind them. So you're right. That sounds like a really great incubator for them and a really great opportunity for you to be able to have an amazing team there. Well done. When it comes to that Health Place, having a few therapists like that and being consistently busy, what do you see as, well, let's start with like your target audience. Do you work mostly with sports people? Is it that kind of sports massage that you're doing?
No, so that unfortunately that's something that comes naturally to us, but the target market in our clientele base is actually far away from the sports. So the sports is pretty much a different arm of Health Place, but to be honest, the majority of our clients, 65% are female from 25 to 37. So that's the majority of our clients. So far away from the sporting Reds and Wallabies and Queensland Ballet group.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how do you find yourself connecting with them then? Do you put a lot of sports stuff through in your marketing and those people come in anyway? Or do you have a broader marketing message and then you find that the sports people come through more the clubs that you work with or that you're the therapist for?
I think the clubs and the sports world just comes naturally to us because of the reputation that we developed in the long of the years. So everyone wants to work with someone that traveled the world with Cirque du Soleil or work with
right.
It's actually very easy for us to get those extra work, extra gigs. But the clinic is the important, and that's what we keep saying to all the massage therapists, to all the Mayas. The clinical work it's our base, it's our future, it's a vision. It's very funny to work with the Wallabies and everything on the weekend, but we can't forget that Joe next door needs our help more than one of the Wallabies. The marketing message is very direct. So we have a good marketing system that we attract the right people to our clinic. And that's based on that. That's why we get, even now, it's going to be 5 years in a few weeks' time, Health Place, and we still get 25 to 30 new clients every week.
Wow.
That's exactly the same numbers consistent for full 5 years.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And well done. Kudos to you for running a business that's attracting those kind of numbers. It means you're doing everything right. You've got a great thing going on there. If we dig into that for a second there, I know in the Massage Business Support Network the other day, you were mentioning that Google AdWords works really well for you. Is that, or what would you see as the main actual channels that bring those new clients in? Is it AdWords or is it Facebook? What do you use the most in a practical sense?
We try to use everything just to see what actually works better for us.
Great.
Due to the location where we are, the walk-ins is still a big part of our clientele base, the new client intake.
Yeah.
Quite a few just walk in, so they see the space and they like it, and yeah, the place looks amazing, to be quite honest. Facebook has been a challenge for us. Like I said to you on the group, it's been a really big challenge. We spend quite a bit of money. We try different things, different tactics. We talk to different people. We talk to you guys as you're the expert. And for us, Facebook is taking a little more time to trigger those clients. We probably get 2 every 3 weeks, and that's very low. Google Ads is a good one because people are already in pain, or it's so easy to target new people according to the keywords. They can be from medial massage to back pain, shoulder pain, and as soon as they click that on Google, they go directly to us. So it's much easier for us to get the targets that we want from Google Ads.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Everything works, even from events during the weekend. It's like a partnership with the gym. So they have an open day. We have 5-minute treatment. We always get 3-4 different new clients every single event, and that's a very good thing as well. So I think people forget to take in consideration that the client doesn't come only once. So as soon as the client comes into your doors, he might come, 10 sessions in a full year. So the value of the client is not just for one session. And that's how we see. So we can even spend $50 to attract a new client, but we know straight away that average the client will come 10 times on that full year, paying $100 per hour. So that's how we try to our market.
Yeah, I love that thinking. And that is exactly how we teach it too. It's like, don't just think about that first treatment coming in, but look at the total value of the client. And it isn't just the value that you get out of them either. It's the value you give to them. You can give them a whole lot more value than just one treatment. You can give them a proper healing experience or a treatment experience over a 12-month period. That's great value for them as well as for you. So it's great to hear that you're doing so well, doing all these things. With the marketing, just to loop back around that for a second, it sounds like you are trying a whole lot of different things. And I hear also that you're testing and measuring. You're actually seeing what works and what doesn't. Can you share maybe something that has been the worst thing, the thing that has not worked? What have you done that's just totally bombed? And maybe how did you then readjust to make sure that you're doing things that work?
I remember that in the beginning, pretty much every business, so there's a lot of different businesses. We have done so many mistakes during the first 4 years. It's actually been quite funny now thinking about it. But then, do you guys ever open lists in where you are? You know that it's a very popular website, kind of like a searching website where you can search different restaurants, health food places.
Oh yeah, sure.
They're quite big, so there's a few different ones, and we got sucked up in one 5 years ago, and they sold us this amazing, like it's $5,000 and you will get a reach of 50,000 people, and even if you only convert 10%, you'll make a lot of money, all that. And then we got 0 clients from those $5,000.
Wow.
You have to spend $5,000 up front. It's a lot of money for us due to cash flow and all that. But we've done so many different things like that. So there's a few situations with radio as well. Like we got sucked up with the radio. Oh, I think radio should be a good thing. But I think you learn. The big thing is that you spoke about the message, about the client, the target clients that we have in the sports world. And I think we just need to be loyal to the client market that you want to attract. So that the TV, the radio, the journal, all that, it might work, but it's a very small scale, because not only the people that you want to target read that publication, the different people that don't care about you. So it's pretty much a waste of money. So and that's why our approaches work with the more specific target. So we know exactly who are our target market, the personas. We create a full persona of who's exactly the list of the people that we want to attract, where they spend their time, where they go after seeing us at Health Place, where do they go before they come to see us at Health Place, where do they spend the money, what they like to read, where do they like to have coffee, do they like the coffee cold? All those things, we know exactly everything about our clients. And that's what we're trying to target. That's why Google is such a good thing for us, to be quite honest. Spending a lot of money in big publications just doesn't work anymore. That's what I think. That's what I feel. Another advice is a business coach, like you guys. I actually think that you guys are doing a good job, and everyone should get a business coach.
Well, thanks, man. That's great.
By the way, I don't work with you guys. I'm not saying that just everyone knows.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Just to clarify, we've never even worked with Pedro. We've had a few conversations and shared some great ideas back and forth. But yeah, it sounds like you're doing quite well without needing our help, which is absolutely great. And a lot of what we're talking about is exactly what we do work with people on. Especially what I love hearing you say is that you have tested so many different things. And even when stuff hasn't worked, you learn from it and you learn, well, I'm not going to do that again, but it doesn't stop you. It hasn't stopped you from moving into continuing to test other new things and building up a business that way. And now, yeah, sure, it's taken you 4 or 5 years, but you've got a great 2 clinics, you've got a great business that's running there, and things are on track and really smooth because you've spent that time getting in there and doing that discovery and learning what works and what doesn't. So again, hats off to you, man. You're doing a really great job. Something else I might ask about, over that time, over that 4 or 5 times, we've heard a little bit of the challenges, especially around marketing. What would you count maybe as your biggest win? What has been the thing that you've done that you've thought, oh, that was gold. That is the absolute best thing. Now, it might be marketing or it might be something else. It could be anything in your business. But what's the biggest single win over that 5-year period for you?
I actually think that there's 2 moments for that. They're very different from everything else. The first one is opening a second clinic. So when you open the first clinic, you make sure that the clinic is running well. You almost get a little cocky. So when you open the second one, because you think you already have the systems and everything, it's actually, it's a reality check. It's a very good moment for you to manage to open a second clinic, second location. Everyone should be proud of, and we are. We're really proud of that. And then the other one that it makes me really proud is seeing it's not an evolution, but it's just seeing the people that work with us growing as well. So we have one of my key reception girls. So she's been with us for 4 years, so pretty much the full length of the business. And before us, she's been working 6 months here, 6 months there. She was living with her parents. And 4 years later, she has a nice car. Not those things matter, but she has a nice car. She's living by herself. She's been with us for 4 years. She loves what we do. She goes for extra training that we give her to. And that's all like that. Like we have my head massage therapist, exactly the same thing. Before us, he used to work in 3 different massage clinics. Now he travels with the Tennis Australia and he works with us in one of the clinics. So the evolution of the people is actually the best feeling. So they're the best thing and the worst thing. but it's actually a really good feeling. I'm not trying to be cheesy, but it's actually a good feeling knowing that there's so many people that actually care about your brand, and they're not the owners. So everyone say, oh, no one's going to work as hard as you because you're the owner. I think that's crap, to be quite honest. Like if the people really trust you and what you're trying to achieve, they work hard, and those guys do.
Yeah. And they're seeing rewards for themselves from it too. They've got their own goals, their own vision that matches in with what you're doing. And I can see that you're building a really great team culture there where people are falling in line with a bigger vision. They're following along with what they're doing and they're seeing their own rewards for it as well. And all your clients, of course, are getting treated through there too. So it's fantastic. Win, win, win. 3-way win. You, the staff, the clients, everyone's winning from that. Something else I might ask about, over that time where you've been running this, you've talked about staff, you've talked a bit about marketing,
and the challenges and some of the wins there. What would you say if you were looking at another therapist that's just come into the industry or perhaps is working for themselves, like you're mentioning earlier? They come in, they're working through it and they're building, they're trying to get momentum, but they're in that sort of place of not yet having broken through into having success like you're seeing. What would you say to them is your biggest piece of advice? What's been your number one learning from what you've done that is going to make the biggest difference to someone who's in that position? What's the number one thing they should be learning or doing, or that they don't know that they should know about?
Well, I don't think there's one thing to make them go to the next level. It's just a set of different things, you know. The first thing is you need to accept that it's hard. It's really hard to build your own business. Even if you're a sole practitioner or if you're working in a clinic, it's tough. It's a very tough industry. But saying that, it's a very rewarding industry as well. So as soon as you gather enough clinical skill sets, that you become the expert in your field, you need to start thinking that you're an expert. So the big advice, like, get shit done. You know, stop complaining and move forward. You know, and that's valid for everything. You're the expert, so when you're trying to rebook clients in, you need to make sure that the clients follow your advice because you're an expert in that industry. If it's the marketing, if you don't know what to do, ask questions. We still ask questions to you pretty much every week. You know, sales. If you're not comfortable with something that you say with your script, find someone that knows exactly what to do. If you're having troubles with the business side, hire a mentor, hire a business coach as well. They just look for help. It's the industry, but it's so rewarding that everyone should be more, I don't know, happy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely. Taking action is a huge thing. And I think you're highlighting exactly one of the core messages we always talk about with therapists that are going through that building phase. That, yeah, there's a lot to learn and yeah, there's a lot to do, but that it's a journey and it can be exciting. And as long as you keep taking action and keep moving through it, you will get better and better at it all. The motivation and the mindset is what makes the biggest difference for people who are going to succeed. Yeah, that's really great. Oh, I really appreciate what you're talking about this morning, Pedro. You're giving a lot of great advice there. It's really helpful. One last thing I'll mention, I saw on your Facebook page too that you just were being interviewed. Is this the Lord Mayor Multicultural Business Awards there in Brisbane? Tell us a little bit about that. Are you just entering that award now?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. In the last few years, so 18 months, we've been nominated by different magazines with Entrepreneur of the Year and Young Entrepreneur of the Year, some different entrepreneur award. And this one was a really weird one because the person responsible kind of stalked me on LinkedIn and she emailed me about the award, but I actually thought it was some spam. Like we always get spam on LinkedIn. And then I got Wallaby's coach calling me directly saying that this person was actually kind of almost forcing me to enter this award. And that's when I finally went and checked. And it's actually a huge award. As soon as I got to the interview space last week, I was so nervous that it went from not caring at all to being sweating and nervous and shaking, and we'll see how it goes. So what they're trying to do is creating an award for people that come from a different culture background, so different countries, and they kind of achieve it in opening your own business and grow, help the economy in Australia as well. So that's pretty much the background of that multicultural award in Brisbane. Yeah. So again, it went from not caring at all to being really nervous and trying to really hard to get it, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. That's good. And good luck, man. I hope you win it. It sounds like you've got, from what we've just talked about today even, it sounds like you've got a really great business running there and you've certainly got your business cap on nice and tight. You're doing everything right as far as running a business, growing the business, having fantastic staff, treating a lot of clients, being involved in community. You're doing a really fantastic job. Is there one last piece of advice that you'd like to give to new therapists or therapists that are going through that stage of building? One last little thing that you can share with them that might help them on their way to success?
When times get tough, just remind yourself why you actually became a massage therapist. And that's valid for a myotherapist or a musculoskeletal or a day spa or relaxation. It's just because there's going to be tough times. As soon as you hit those tough times, it's just remind yourself, why did I make this decision? And everything gets better because, yeah, it's a good career. I've been doing this for 30 years and I still love it. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great advice too, Pedro. I really appreciate it. You are an absolute champion. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing what you have with our listeners. Been really, really awesome to have you, and great just to hear a bit more of your story myself as well. Really insightful and really valuable. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Perfect. Thanks, man.